Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, May 3, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. As a matter of fact, I'd like to thank you all for liking the video from yesterday. I asked for 100 likes and I actually got up to 250 likes the last time I checked. And we're indeed grateful for that. It goes to show that some persons are actually here, but maybe they're forgetting to like the video. No problem. It's nice to know that you're actually all here and not busy on TikTok as most people are these days. So feel free to leave a like today, no problem. Not asking for anything special today. Also feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what that has been like in your ear recently. Feel free to also ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. As usual, we know the entire Atlantic basin is still being dominated by these ridges of high pressure that are represented by the H, and they're responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. You can also see that the Caribbean is still being plagued by numerous troughs, as represented by these broken red lines. Even one here stretching all the way from the tail end of that cold front, another one right here to the south of Jamaica. Lots of troughing taking place, which explains all the cloud cover and rainfall that we've been experiencing. No complaints here, we're indeed grateful. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can actually see the cloud cover associated with the troughs, definitely bringing some amount of rainfall to sections of the central and eastern Caribbean, and I'm sure most of these islands, big or small, are very much grateful. And if we actually take a look back at the infrared satellite images, the images that we showed first, we can actually see all the colors that represent the high cold cloud tops, the heavy rain, the showers and thunderstorms. Most of the heaviest weather is still off to the south of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico at this time, but as we can see, the upper level wind shear is definitely pushing all of the bad weather off towards the north and east. So the eastern Caribbean is definitely going to be getting nailed tonight into tomorrow, over the weekend. And I'm sure that many persons are grateful for that. Hopefully it's not that drastic in terms of the flooding. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Friday, May 3, 2024. It was stated that rainfall would have lingered last night into Friday morning across sections of the island, and then affecting sections of eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica during the afternoon, especially across southern Jamaica. And just for your information, we know western parishes, they're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester. While eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Kingston, St. Andrew, Portland, and St. Thomas. And as it relates to southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine. And what ended up happening? As early as 2:25 p.m., we posted on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, not only our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that are not made here on our YouTube platform that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the infrared satellite images were posted showing all the high cold cloud tops represented by the blues and greens, not to mention the yellows and reds. And where was that located? Across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. So just as predicted. So that was when it just started out, and we saw that we were getting some thunderstorm activity In that, we know the thunderstorms, well, the lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, are represented by the sparkling white dots. So we definitely had a lot of lightning and thunder within these clouds. Hopefully nothing drastic was done. We know how dangerous lightning can be. Then 2 hours later at 4:45 p.m. we still saw the thunderstorm activity taking place across sections of the island as another post was made, and we see the heavy thunderstorm activity especially across sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and even Clarendon. They definitely got it very heavily right there. And if we actually take a look at some of our comments coming in from our followers, we had a president stating raining heavily in Spalding since 1 o'clock. We know Spalding is in Manchester, if I'm not mistaken. We had a CR Morgan JP stating sleeping in my car through this is crazy. Then we had Zede Nuefville stating it has been overcast all day with lots of thunder and rain throughout, but most importantly, it is cool in the environs of Heartlands District, St. Catherine. Diana Macaulay stating finally raining in Kingston. Then some more comments. We had blessed underscore one, well, blessed one exclamation point, stating dark clouds in Portmore. Brielle Patton, Mandeville flooded, send help. O'Shane Newman, heavy in St. Elizabeth. SK stating extremely heavy in Mandeville. Even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in. We have Audrey Jackson right here, raining heavily in the hills of St. James for over 2 hours. Lorna Ricketts, raining just now in St. Elizabeth. Fiona Dowdy, raining in St. Elizabeth right now. K. Watto, thunder and lightning storm in the hills of St. James. Olivia Shannon, raining heavy in St. Mary, the side to Portland. And we had Nelly Nemoy stating, well, Nelly Nemoy stating rain stop in Portland, Mavex. Sharmar Night stating rain in St. Mary. Even on our Instagram page, we had some comments coming in. Brioni836, rain is pouring in Golden Grove, St. Anne. Lotus underscore flower 876, about 2 hours now, non-stop in Mandeville. Ingrid Mark Davis stating pure rain in Kingston. CP vibes up stating rain a tear down like my side said. Okay. FweedyBoop.kk stating the place did a washway. Reday stating raining in a halfway tree. And Brenda Star 4952 stating Constant Spring Road did a washway earlier. It was a storm outside. And we even have the confirmation from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, because at around this is about 1:52 p.m. we looked at the halfway tree live cam and we saw the moderate to heavy rainfall that they were experiencing across those spots. We know See Jamaica's YouTube channel actually shows live streams of the corporate area. They have live stream of halfway tree, Crossroads, the Kingston Harbor, and some other areas of Kingston. Hopefully they widen their cameras even more to even some northern and western portions of the island. Either way, we have a partnership with that channel, so if you haven't already subscribed to them, please ensure that you do. You can't afford to miss these live streams at all. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we saw that we definitely had that cloud cover across sections of eastern, central, and western parishes, especially across the south during the late afternoon hours. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite images, we can see that by recording hour at this time, majority of the high cold cloud tops have definitely dissipated. Only some, patches of whitish, milky, grayish colors that represent maybe some, low end of the scale clouds. Nothing too drastic, no rainfall within them. As we can see, the Cube and Doppler radar images aren't showing much across Jamaica at all, but we do see some spots of greens somewhere across the south. Who knows, maybe some isolated showers are affecting some areas, if that's not some ground clutter that I'm seeing. If we take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology's accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had that rainfall today, definitely across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes. So both northern and southern parishes got in on some amount of rainfall, especially sections of some northern portions of some southern parishes and some southern portions of some northern parishes. And I'm sure the areas that got rainfall have some amount of residents that were indeed grateful. As relates to the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about, let's say, 3 a.m. on Saturday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. As relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Saturday. And if we actually calculate that, that's actually 1 p.m. on Saturday, and we see Jamaica still embedded in some gray colors for the most part. We know the gray colors is represented by what we see on the key on the right. So that's average temperatures. And we know the average temperatures for the month of May across Jamaica, 89 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 89 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31 degrees Celsius. As relates to the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom, the yellows, the oranges, the reds and whites within those reds. And we can still see that some areas of the Caribbean are being played with some amount of dry air, but we do see a lot of blues across sections of the Greater Antilles, including Jamaica, Eastern Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, especially across the Central and Eastern Caribbean right here, where the troughs are definitely plaguing our air. So with all of this moist air, we can't rule out some more rainfall affecting section of the island even in tomorrow. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, we see that majority of the Caribbean should be in the clear. This spot right here where Jamaica is in should be in the clear, as all the browns that represent the Saharan dust seem to be right here across the waters of the main development region. As we can see, those brown colors, especially those darker shades of browns that represent the vigorous plume of Saharan dust that we know can cause respiratory illnesses as well as hazy skies. We also see some lighter shades of browns that represent Saharan dust, but it's nothing drastic, spilling into sections of the eastern and central Caribbean. Nothing to worry about at all. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see a mixture of those lighter shades of blues and those darker shades of blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right represent 0.5 per meter to 1.5 meter wave height, and that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere where we see those those bluish colors, so the 5 to 10 knots, and the brighter greens 15, maybe gusting to 20 knots. And we can also see that the general direction for the most part should be from the east, and we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this wind forecast. Also, if you look closely, we see we have the blues, especially across central and western parishes, so we can rule out some more rainfall affecting sections of central and western Jamaica tomorrow. And with the upper level winds seem to be coming in more so from the west southwest for tomorrow, it could favor more of that cloud cover and the rainfall. If you've been watching us for a long time, we know that it could favor more so northern parishes, so Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover. We are saying something similar to what we had in our forecast yesterday. In yesterday's forecast, we said that rainfall would have affected sections of eastern, central, and western parishes, especially southern Jamaica during Friday afternoon. For tomorrow, it's going to be different. It's going to be eastern, central, and western parishes, and especially northern parishes during the afternoon. So it's going to be a bit different, but it's still the same eastern, central, and western Jamaica, but clearly northern Jamaica is going to be getting on more of that rainfall because they have the upper level support. And the actual 1 hour total rainfall forecast confirm this. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. And where do we see the blues that represent rainfall? Across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. And we also see the darker shades of blues across sections of some northern parishes right there on the GFS. The Euro showing the darker shades of blues across sections of northern Jamaica as well. But look at those greens even across northern Jamaica. So definitely that's where we see the consensus, that's where we see the agreement. And then at around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 p.m. Jamaica time, we still see some blues that represent rainfall lingering across sections of some central and western parishes. So we're definitely going to be in for some moment of afternoon rainfall tomorrow, and both accumulated precipitation forecast maps confirm this. This map from the GFS and this map from the Euro are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on a Saturday. We're not saying that's going to be raining all the way from now up until then, but these are the areas that are going to be picking up the most in the way of rainfall. So we see the most rainfall totals across sections of maybe Kingston, St. Andrew, up to 0.76 of an inch of rainfall there. That's according to the Euro. What does the GFS show? The most rainfall should be across sections of central, let me use another color, right here across central Jamaica, maybe southern Trelawney, northern St. Elizabeth, northern Manchester, right there up to 0.92 of an inch of rainfall. We also see the consensus with what the Euro was showing as well, close to an inch of rainfall across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Yes, eastern, central, and western parishes, but as stated earlier, northern Jamaica is going to be receiving more so in terms of the bias. Alright, so let us take a look at the average rainfall. We're actually in the month of May. We're finally in our secondary rainy season right here. We usually get up to 213 millimeters of rainfall during this month. You can do the math in terms of the inches. Just know that 1 inch is actually 25 millimeters. So that's about what, 4 plus 4, that's 8, almost 9 inches of rainfall is what Jamaica receives during this month, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, we're grateful. We're getting some rainfall to put some kind of a dent in the drought that we've been experiencing for the past couple of months. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the mess of clouds right here across the central and eastern Caribbean, associated with the trough that has been plaguing the basin for quite some time. And it's not going much of anywhere at all. We're still going to be plagued with it across sections of the Greater Antilles, including Jamaica, Hispaniola, and Cuba. And we can also see, as usual, the afternoon convection across sections of southern Central America and northern South America right there. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we're actually going to be looking from about 1:30 p.m. today. But before we do that, look at the images right now. They're definitely getting plagued with some heavy rainfall. Look at all of that color as we can see here. Even some yellows that represent heavy rainfall right now plaguing sections of the US and British Virgin Islands. Sections of eastern Puerto Rico definitely gotten some of the action today. Let us put these images into motion right now. So we definitely saw that Puerto Rico got in on some very heavy rainfall today, pushing in from the south and west. But now it's actually the US and British Virgin Islands turn, and majority of this rainfall is clearly pushing eastward. So we can rule out some more rainfall for sections of St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, eventually getting to Guadeloupe and Dominica later on, maybe tonight into tomorrow. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we don't see much taking place at all. Barbados in the clear right now. We don't even see much taking place. Just a little stray shower right there off to the south and west of Barbados, heading into sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As it relates to the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall that we just mentioned still plaguing the waters of the Central Caribbean and the Northeastern Caribbean, Puerto Rico and those areas that we mentioned already. We can also see some rainfall affecting sections of Colombia as well as French Guiana and Suriname. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we see that both the Euro and the GFS, well, we see that this map from the GFS is just showing 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Saturday. We're seeing majority of the Central Caribbean should be getting in on these gray colors that represent average temperatures, while central to the Eastern Caribbean should be getting in on these yellows to oranges that represent even up to 4 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. You can also see above normal temperatures in the forecast for sections of Central America and the Northern South America, not to mention sections of the Central and Eastern United States. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, we can see that majority of the Caribbean should be in the clear, even although we see some light shades of browns that represent the low end of the scale in terms of Saharan dust. But look at all of these very dark brown colors, and who knows, maybe the easterly trays are pushing all of this westward, so it could maybe affect or even get even more robust for sections of the Eastern Caribbean starting early next week. We don't want to see all of these darker shades of browns at all. We know all of that represents that vigorous plume of dust that we know can cause hazy skies and trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some people. None of us want that at all. As it relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that we should be receiving a mixture of those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds are going to be coming in from the east for the most part, with the blues and the brighter shades of greens that we can see by the key on the bottom right represent anywhere from 5 to 10 to even 15 knots, maybe even gusting to 20 knots in some spots. Let me draw this arrow a bit better, something better like this. Okay. As it relates to the rainfall forecast now, this is the meat of the matter. This is why we're here. We can actually see the tremendous rainfall that's expected. Both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are actually showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday. And we can see that they're in consensus with the fact that sections of Eastern Cuba should still be receiving more rainfall. Sections of the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, sections of St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, sections of maybe even Guadeloupe getting in on the action, the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. Even if we skip down, we can see some of this rainfall that's going to be affecting sections of South America. So definitely across sections of French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, southern Venezuela, western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, sections of western Nicaragua, El Salvador and southern Honduras as well. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this rainfall forecast. I don't know that when they are agreeing like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.